In a psychology study, people were given two options of what to do with $10. Either they could keep $2 while someone else got 8, or they could choose for neither them nor the other person to get anything. And 85% of people chose for no one to get anything, which I think shows that the power that comparing ourselves to others has over us, because the majority of people would choose a situation that is worse for them as long as no one else was doing better than them. And I think this reality has a huge impact on the way that we collect comics, because comparing ourselves to others in this hobby can ruin it for us. As my man Theodore Roosevelt said, comparison is the thief of joy. And so today I want to talk about 3 ways that the hobby can be ruined for us if we get caught up comparing ourselves to others in it. First of all, if you get caught up comparing yourself to others, then you'll start to lose joy in the comics that you have in your collection. I mean, if you're watching this video, you probably have thousands of comic books and so much to be thankful for and to get excited about. So much great art, so many great stories, comics with some type of key significance, and that should fill us all with an incredible amount of joy. But when we start looking at what other people have, then we lose focus on what we have. Then we start to think, I don't have that book. I don't have that one either. And we become miserable in this hobby instead of happy in it. I mean, the whole reason to be in this hobby is because it brings us joy. I mean, if it doesn't bring us joy, there's a lot of other things that we could be doing with our time and our money. But we lose that joy when we start comparing ourselves to others. And usually, the only way out of that pity party brings me to the second thing that happens when we compare ourselves to others. We begin to spend money on comics that we regret, because usually the only way to make us feel better about not having a certain comic is to go out and start buying more. And comics then, instead of being something that fills us, then becomes like this drug that we're addicted to. And so we buy some and gets this high and like, oh, I got this collection added to, and then we're happy until we see the next YouTube video and this guy shows another key that we don't have. We're like, I'm miserable again, and I'm down again, and now I need to go out and buy another book. And so we do that, and then we start buying more and more and more, not because these comics are bringing us joy, but we're trying to keep up with the Joneses. Now, before I go on, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, of course, I'd appreciate it if you consider doing so now. Of course, this is what FOMO is all about, right? We see some top 10 list, and we start thinking, oh, well, everybody's getting that book, everybody's getting that book. I don't have one. I need to rush out and get it. And it can be a book you don't even care about, but you just feel compelled to get it because it's what everyone else is doing. And I'm speaking to myself as much as anyone else here. I can get caught up in this comparison game. Just one of many examples for me came a couple of years ago when I came upon a Silver Surfer 4 that was at a pretty good price. And this is a highly desirable comic because it has this famous Thor Silver Surfer battle cover. And it's a cool book, but it's not really in the wheelhouse of what I collect. I especially love to collect first appearances and first cover appearances, and that book has neither. But I know lots of other people like it. Lots of other people desire it. And so when I saw it at a good price, it's like, I'm going to buy it. And it'd be one thing if it was just $1 a book. I mean, who cares? But it is not $1 book. Even though I got it at a good price, it was still an expensive book. And I look back and regret that I bought that book. But I still have it in my collection, And it's still because of this comparison game, because I feel like, oh, again, people desire this book. I should desire this book. Everyone else does. Well, why don't I? And so I could turn around and sell it and then buy a first appearance of a character or first cover appearance of a character that I don't have. But I don't do that because I'm locked in to thinking, well, everyone else likes this book and I'm comparing myself to everyone else. And so I'm going to keep it. And I'm getting better at this. This is why I'm making this video. And I've also been reading some of these studies on comparing ourselves to others. And so I'm getting better. But even for someone who's trying to think through this, it's hard. It's a hard thing to overcome. This desire to be on the same level as everyone else. And this can lead to some people spending big money. I mean, I'm thankful that I haven't gone out and spent thousands on some book that I don't love. And a lot of people have. Of course, this was a huge part of the comic book boom back in 2020, 21, when people got caught up seeing what other people were buying and rushing to get it and feeling like they had to have it. And I mean, there are some people with some serious regrets. Thankfully, my regrets aren't super serious. Again, it's not like I lost thousands of dollars on some kind of comic book. And even if you have, we can learn from it. Like I've learned from my Silver Surfer 4, I'm being careful about just rushing out and buying some expensive key just because everyone else does. And although I absolutely love comic book YouTube and have gotten so much out of watching videos and obviously make my own videos, this comparison to others is one of the most dangerous things about YouTube, because I know I've bought tons of books that I would never have even considered buying if I hadn't seen someone talking about them on YouTube. And it's not even like, sometimes we talk about like Comic Tom, who's like pushing books, or at least people feel like he's pushing books. It's not even from them or top 10 lists. Just watching somebody unbox and be like, oh, that's a book that I want now. They're not even trying to push it. It's not like a dealer pushing it, but just watching someone with something I don't have stirs something in me where I feel like, oh, I've got to get that book now. And so all of us, even please don't stop watching my videos. I haven't pulled up any of my comics here, so I'm not trying to influence you. So don't stop watching my videos. But we all have to be careful when we're watching comic book YouTube that it doesn't cause us to jump further in to this comparison game. But once again, if we get caught up comparing ourselves to others, we just end up spending money that either we don't have or that we just regret spending. And when we do that, we start, of course, feeling miserable and gross inside and bitter. And so then one of two things happens. Either we exit the hobby, or the third thing that I want to talk about is that we just become haters. We become bitter, and so we're angry about what's in our collection. We're jealous about what others have in theirs. And so instead of being happy for people when they get some big books, we just begin to despise them. And we can see this in YouTube. Read the comment sections on some people's videos, and there are some real haters that just say outlandish stuff about people. And I remember a few months ago seeing in a Facebook forum where someone was commenting on how they hate watching CGC unboxing videos because it just looks like people are bragging and showing off. And certainly that could be happening for some people, but I never take it that way when I'm watching an unboxing video. I see that there's someone in the hobby that's excited about what they've gotten, and so I want to try to be excited with them. And I talked about this in an interview I did with Moneyball Comics. If you haven't seen his video or his channel, go check it out, because I did an interview with him recently. But I talked about, when I watch someone doing especially a CGC unboxing, it's like watching a sporting event for me, where I'm cheering, just when somebody pulls off a 9.8, it's like somebody hitting a home run, and I get excited for them. When I'm watching some sporting event, I'm obviously not actually doing anything, but I kind of live vicariously through them. And so when I see people unraveling their CGC books, it's like I'm living vicariously through them. And so I'm able to cheer for them and be excited for them. And I think that's where we should want to be as collectors, to be happy for others. And of course, there's shady characters in any hobby. And so I'm not saying that we always have to be positive about everything. And even, there's some joy that can sometimes come with commiserating. I've obviously had videos where I've been critical of some of the things CGC has done, but I try to make them in a lighthearted manner where I share things that I think we should be critical about, or at least consider, but I still want to have fun doing it. This hobby should be fun for us, even when we take our lumps. Work to learn, work to have fun, and I think that fun is maximized, again, when we just reject the temptation to compare ourselves to others. But tell me, what do you think? Do you get caught up in this comparison game like I do? And you can look back at comics you bought and say, man, I really wish I hadn't bought that one, but I got caught up comparing myself to others. Or do you feel this pressure to have to buy more and more and more to keep up with others? Again, it's something I struggle with. Do you? Now, once again, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, I'd appreciate it if you consider doing so now. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.